Get a dog.
All right, so the first criteria on the list is lighting.
Lighting?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good. I'm always a fan of, like, not necessarily campfire scenes, but scenes like that where characters are gathered around a fire and the way it's lit. I'm always a fan of that. And that happened, was it 2 times? 3?
It happened a couple times in that movie.
And I always like seeing that. So
I think the lighting was pretty good.
it was very dark and gritty in like serious moments of doubt. It was very bright. In good times. I liked it. Probably we think an 8.5 on lighting.
I think what we can do is, like, whenever we get to a subject, I'll let you talk and then I'll talk and we'll compare.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that the lighting was really good. There was a lot of dynamic setups. When they shot, I know this was like natural light, so it's almost kind of cheating, but they were out in the desert shooting Will Smith scenes, and
the scene. Are you talking about the scene after the first dogfight?
Yes, and he's walking with the pit.
Yeah.
That to me, some of those shots are really great. Roland Emmerich, though, I mean, he is a director that is known for having immaculate cinematography.
Yeah, he does good.
The lighting that they used to blend in special effect shots with because they did a lot of practical effects. They blew up miniatures, and the White House was a miniature that they blew up.
Yeah,
and
which I thought was super neat.
And they blended in together between the stuff shot of people and the stuff shot of miniatures. The lighting was utilized very well to do that. So I think the lighting was really good. I think I'd give it, on a technical level, I'd give the lighting 8.5 to 9 almost. What were you thinking?
I give it 8.5.
So we'll go 8.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Direction.
I thought the direction was pretty good. I don't really have a lot of notes on it, but I liked it. I give it. I don't know. Wasn't like bonkers. I give it probably maybe like an 8.
I think the direction in the film, it depends. It was actually kind of weird for me. It was like scene to scene, depending on if I like the direction or not. Like when it was action scenes, the way that he directed those action scenes, I think was very well done. But a lot of these other scenes, it seemed like characters, the way that they would like say lines, And maybe that can go more into performance and writing, but some of the writing wasn't the best. It was it's definitely more of an action movie than it is a theological drama. But I do think the direction kind of differed from scene to scene. Sometimes one scene would feel one way, another scene would feel a different way. So I think honestly for direction, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Okay.
And you said 8. Do you want to meet at 7?
Yeah.
All right. The writing.
Again, like you said, sometimes the writing was kind of cheesy. Overall, like I liked the story overall, and it had some really cool moments. The speech the president gives before the last fight, that is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But then there's, like you said, like scene to scene, there are moments that you're just like, all right, whatever.
I mean, there's literally dialogue in there that was, "You are not as cool as you think you are." Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and that's it. It's like, that's kind of lame. It's just a very, I don't know. I think that there were too many characters.
But hey, Will Smith pulled it off.
Well, yeah, but
there are a lot of characters.
I think there were too many characters, too many subplots.
There was like
too many.
The president's plot, Will Smith's plot, Jeff Goldblum's plot.
And then their significant other, each of them.
Yeah, all 3 of them have a significant other that each have their own plot. And then there's the
drunk plane guy with his kids.
The Vietnam pilot was he Vietnam? Yeah. And then Jeff Goldblum's work friend
and his dad.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
stuff in this movie.
It's too many characters.
Full, man.
It's too many characters. I think they like Will Smith. There's so many characters, and it's so overloaded with stuff that we didn't even meet. Will Smith, in my opinion, is the main character. Him and Jeff Goldblum are like the 2 main characters. You don't meet Will Smith until 25 minutes into the film,
give or take. Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah.
Like, having seen bits and pieces, I knew he was in it, and I knew that he was a big part. And so when the movie just keeps going. I was like, all right, where's Will Smith?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Will Smith?
So, and they did have a lot of cheesy moments and characters. There were a lot of like lucky connections. I'll explain what I mean. Jeff Goldblum was married to the woman that was President.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his last name, but
the president.
He was married to who is the president's secretary. Mm-hmm. He was married to her, and at one point in their history, they explained that he had like punched the president because he thought that they were that his wife, who was his secretary, was like cheating. In a movie about aliens.
Yeah, in a movie about aliens.
You know, and then other connections were Will Smith's girlfriend, who's a stripper, which she survives the bombing of a city after Will Smith left to go to the Air Force base to join in the fight. Their city was like bombed by the aliens, and she happens to find the First Lady's crashed helicopter, where the First Lady was in it.
While she's on her way to the base, she just happens upon her.
And here's the deal. Will Smith steals a helicopter at some point and just happens to find his girlfriend in the middle of the night without any like signal flares or anything. He just finds them.
They have a fire going, and he's like, that's them. That's them, baby.
Yeah. It's like I skipped the last 3 fires I came across because those weren't you, so you know.
Yeah.
We should probably go pick those people up. But, honestly, the writing, I'd probably give like a 4, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fair, yeah. Because it wasn't great.
It wasn't
that speech,
great.
though. That speech.
Yeah,
the president
honestly, you know, just
awesome.
for that speech, I'm gonna bump it up to 5. That speech deserves a point. That really does.
A whole point, though.
For the greatest movie speech ever.
It's definitely not the greatest movie speech
One
ever.
of them. It's up there.
It's like top 10, maybe, but
it's up there.
I still don't think it's worth a whole point.
I'll give you 4.5.
I'll go 4.5. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, character development. Every character is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
They're all kind of stereotypes. There was a joke. I mean, look, they're in the car, Jeff Goldblum and his dad. They're both Jewish, right? And they're in the car, and it just seems like they're trying to, like, out-stereotypical Jew each other.
Yeah.
Like, drive. I'm driving, but they keep passing, you know, they're cutting me off. And he's like, I'm Jewish. No, I'm more Jewish. I'm Jewish. There's a lot of stereotypes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not racist to point it out.
It's not.
There are a lot of stereotypes. Yeah. No, and they all kind of just stay that way. I think, like, the most character development we get is that the president, in the beginning, you learn that people think that he's kind of a pussy. They think the people think that he's a pushover. Yeah. They hired a soldier and they got a coward or something like that. That's what they said. And then, like, later on in the movie, he puts on a helmet and he gets into a plane because he used to be a pilot. Mm-hmm. And he flies a mission. Yeah.
In the dogfights.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Will Smith just happened to crash his jet. Another one of those in the writing. I hate to go back to that. But Will Smith his jet happened to crash land next to, I mean, he ejected, but still, he happened to land close to Area 51.
Yeah.
Where the president happened to be.
Yeah.
Also, Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum got into the enemy, like a crashed alien ship. They got into it and knew how to fly it in like 2 minutes, like, and knew how to fly it perfectly. And they were able to outmaneuver other aliens who had been flying those ships for a long time. Yeah. So, but anyway, character development, I'm gonna give like a 4. Again, there's like very little.
I'd go like 2 or 3.
I'll give you
because like you said,
I'll give you 2.
They just don't grow.
Yeah, they don't.
The president does a little bit. But it's not necessarily that the president grows. It's the president shows people that they were wrong about him. That's not growing.
Yeah, he
proving
was
someone wrong and growing as a character.
The president
was
not a coward in the beginning of the film.
Yeah,
they just said that he was. So yeah, 2, use of camera. Ooh, now that's good.
Yeah,
film was shot very competently.
It was very well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just you know, oh, it was shot well. It was the shots did help tell the story, you know, to show how small. Like I love this, to show how small, because like one of the themes of the film, at least in my opinion, is how small we are to the aliens. Mm-hmm. You know, and I don't just mean physically. I mean thematically. Like we think, like human beings think that they're like, you know, the big dog, and this dwarfs us. You know, both like, you know, physically and metaphorically. And so there were a lot of shots where Will Smith was in contact with an alien that were like super wide. You know, and things like that. That happened a couple times, you know, and there's other examples throughout the film.
Every shot of the ship from the ground always was like ground level with like people around.
Yeah.
To show how massive the ship is compared to what's around us.
And it was shot from a superior angle too.
Yeah.
So I think the camera, and that's just Roland Emmerich films, they always look beautiful, but I really do think the cinematography and use of camera to tell the story, I mean, I'd give like a 8 or 9.
I give it an 8.
Okay. Pacing. You go ahead.
I don't know. I felt like at some points the movie dragged a little. It was like a drag sprint, drag sprint, drag sprint, and like they never ramped up to the sprint, and they never slowed down. It was just real fast, then it wasn't. Real fast, then it wasn't. So I didn't think it was that great.
I think again, I'll just reiterate, it took 25 minutes for us to meet Will Smith.
Yeah.
And then they never developed his character anyway, so what was the point kind of deal, you know?
Yeah.
So if anybody was more developed, it was the aliens, because we learned more about the aliens throughout the film than we learned about the characters we're following.
Just about, yeah.
But so pacing, yeah, I mean like 4.
Yeah. 4 is a good number.
Meaning behind the story. I think if you look past the explosions, if you look past the spectacle of it all, I do think there is a meaning in there, and it's about how small humans are. Mm-hmm. You know,
it's kind of like an anti-arrogance propaganda film.
Yeah. And there's also a climate. There's a climate change.
Yeah,
meaning in there.
There is.
The aliens are coming to Earth to take their resources and move to the next planet.
Yeah.
There's a unity message in there, a big one. I mean, hell, the whole speech.
It's about standing together.
Yeah, instead of
like as a world instead of a nation.
Yeah. It was like, we're not fighting from tyranny, persecution, or what was it? Tyranny.
I don't remember exactly.
Something in persecution, but from annihilation.
Yeah.
The world shouted out in one voice, "We will not go quietly into the night." Like I mean,
God, that's such a good line.
Oh yeah, it's such a great line, dude. I mean,
I've heard lines like that in a bunch of different things, but like, damn, it's a fucking.
I'm telling you, I wanted to give it a whole nother point just for that. I don't
think it's for the whole point.
Oh, man, I really do.
No, but now the St. Crispian Day speech in like Henry IV, I think. No, that's a 1-point speech.
The
right
Spartacus
there.
speech.
Are you not into no?
No. Yeah, I am Spartacus.
No, I am Spartacus.
I hate you.
What?
I was like, the Spartacus speech, and you're like, oh, the one that's not the good one.
Yeah,
it's a good speech. It is good, but it's not as good as like the Spartacus speech. Anyway, a meaning behind the story, I would actually give that. Let's get because the film is so chock full of just shit. There's a good like 3 or 4 like decent meanings in there. It's not just about one thing or the other.
Yeah, but because the movie is chock full.
But hey, look, that's the double-edged sword. It was chock full. It means the writing slacked, but the meaning didn't. Yeah. So I'm gonna give the meaning like a 7.5.
That's a good. I would go 7.
You go 7?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you 7 on that one. Diversity. I think it's pretty diverse, actually. Even if they were stereotypes, it was diverse. And they weren't
right.
They weren't done, and they weren't. I don't think the stereotypes were done maliciously.
No, there was no ill will behind what.
Yeah, they weren't. Doing. They weren't like making fun of Jews.
Yeah,
they were just.
Yeah, they didn't use Jewish stereotypes to mock Jewish people. Yeah. We just had characters that did fit stereotypes.
The military men were the gruff and tough military men.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty diverse. Yeah.
Yeah. I think actually really diverse. I mean, you had gay people. You had black people, Jewish people, white people.
He was gay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was he gay and Jewish? Or was he just
I
gay?
think he was gay and Jewish.
I'm pretty sure he was
But
Jewish.
Still, I'm just like
we're talking about Jeff Goldblum's work friend.
Yeah. You had white. You had I believe Native. Were they Native American?
Some of them were.
Yeah. I mean there was all the military people.
There's
were white for the most part.
one scene with a Latino family.
Yeah, you're right.
Where the pilot crop
yeah.
masks the wrong.
I mean, hell, even if you looked at the speech, during the Great Speech, there's a bunch of different people all around too. So I think diversity was also really well done.
Pretty diverse, yeah.
So I would give Diversity like a 9 almost.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good, yeah.
Who would have thought Independence Day was the most diverse film we've seen in recent memory?
Yeah, we haven't watched a lot of super diverse films. We should watch we should review The Martian.
It's not that we like avoid them. It's just we've seen a lot of films where it's not there. You know.
Yeah, we should watch The Martian.
We can do that one. We'll put that on the list.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, if there's any films you want us to review,
let us know. We'll definitely do it. Unless it's like a Serbian film.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can suggest it if you want.
Yeah. Feel free to suggest
if you're trying to get those,
we're gonna watch
if you're trying to get those likes in the comments, you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna smash that motherfucking like button.
Yeah, I'll give you a like out of respect, but I'm not gonna review it. Listen, and here's the deal. Unlike other reviewers, you know, we don't just like talk about the film a little bit and then give you the score. You get to see our entire process of how we like decide, you know, a rating for the film. So,
which we didn't talk about the story of this movie overall. Do you want to do that after we've got our points down?
I feel like we kind of did in writing, and between writing,
we didn't
pacing,
really talk. Well, yeah, we kind of
and meaning behind the story. I feel like we cover all the aspects of the story. Right. If you want, I can put plot back in here.
Yeah, just go ahead and go to the next one.
Sound was really good, dude.
Yeah,
especially the alien sounds and the sounds of like the when they're blowing shit up.
Oh yeah, the sound mixing was pretty dope.
Look, I'm gonna say this.
Well, real quick, okay. So I haven't seen the sequel. You said you have. You said it's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. God awful.
But the doctor who's like dissecting the alien gets like pretty messed up. You're like, yeah, apparently he's like alive in the next one. It's like, dude, how?
Yeah, right. I almost want to add something to our rating criteria for this one because I think it was so prevalent. Production design. I think the production design for this was so prevalent.
Yeah, it was really good too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put that one on there. But sound though, we're still on sound.
Yeah, it was excellent. You know, everything sounded crisp. I really liked the sound effects they gave to like the alien technology, and how like. So when they get to the mothership, there is kind of like a droning, you know. And I thought that was cool.
Like a wah.
Like a constant noise that was there. Yeah, there was that. Like I said, the sound effects that they gave the alien technology was really cool. You know, the sounds that all the planes made was good. So good sound mixing and sound editing for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think that I mean, I agree with all your points. I think there was one really cool scene in the very beginning. It's it's in the first scene where these they're at the extraterrestrial detection agencies site, whatever the government, whatever they're the place where they're listening.
Right. The place where they have satellites to listen to what's out there. Yeah.
And this guy is sitting there at his desk, and something starts going off. This red light's beeping, and he has to turn it off, and he listens, and their sound for hearing the aliens coming is not what you would expect. You don't hear or whatever, or any kind of wong. It's just
it's kind of just staticky.
Yeah, it's kind of staticky, but it's
yeah, and
it's really
and then as you find out later in the film, it's binary.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's ominous the way that they had it sound too, and he puts a phone up to it, and it just and the way that they blended that because it wasn't as loud, and then when he put it up, it got louder and louder, and it was
really good.
It's good. So I mean, what do you think? I give sound either an 8.5 or a 9.
I give it an 8.5. Yeah.
Okay. I think yeah. So production design.
Baller.
Yeah. The a lot of good costumes too. I like that. You had people on rooftops when the aliens had shown up. There were people on rooftops being "Welcome to Earth" and stuff. And not Will Smith when he put "Welcome to Earth," but when they're on the rooftop holding up signs. There were aliens, alien pictures and stuff. It was pretty cool. But the alien designs themselves very unique.
Oh yeah,
very cool. They had these bioengineer suits that they wore. Biomechanical suits. That when I was a kid, I didn't understand that suit wasn't the alien, because even those suits are creepy. But the alien coming out of it's really creepy, dude. Yeah, these aliens are creepy looking.
Oh yeah.
When
they're not your standard little green Martian, man.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. The when Will Smith shoots down one of the spaceships, which we'll talk about the spaceships in a second. He shoots down, he makes one of the spaceships crash, and he climbs on top of it, opens the door, which, how did he know where the door to the spaceship was? Yeah. But he opens and if you knew this, if you saw a picture of it, you'd understand, like, where the hell's the door on that thing. But he opens up the door, the alien tries coming out, and he just punches it, and he says, "Welcome to Earth." He sits back, pulls out a cigar, smokes it, and he says, "Now that's what I call a close encounter." And I'm just like, that's when the boom, 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 boom. Well, this, like, just that's how you end the episode. But no, man, the production design was great. The costumes looked really cool too.
Yeah.
When they open up the he's like, "Welcome to the freak show," and they open the door and it's like the vats with the aliens in there. Mm-hmm. It's creepy as shit, dude. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. It was pretty good.
And the miniatures they used to explode. And,
yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think 8.5.
I agree. Do we want to include special effects, or do you think we've kind of already really covered that?
Yeah, we've kind of covered that.
All right. I'm going to total this up. All right, I've got the score. Our average score is a 6.7.
6.7.
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I would round it up to a 7. I think for me, like, in my mind, thinking about the film, a 7 out of 10, it feels more accurate. But I mean, a 6.7 is not bad.
Yeah, 6.7 feels right.
To put you into perspective, Starship Trooper, if you were to convert this to a percentage, Starship Trooper has like a 64% on Rotten Tomato.
Really?
And I think that one's great too. So I mean, that's a perspective, So 6.7 for Independence Day.
Hell yeah.